All right. For those who haven't met me yet, I'm Catherine Satriano. I want to welcome everyone to this closing event. Depending on your time zone, I know this might be the end of the second day or a little bit earlier in your day. Thank you all so much for participating in the Editathon and for all the time, energy, and thought you have devoted to it. This was truly a team effort, and there has been a lot of activity today. I said this yesterday, but I think it bears repeating. I am so grateful for the generosity of the Indigenous Advisory Board members and participants who have offered the guidance and collaboration that made this event possible and have expanded it to the wide-reaching collaborative project that it is today. So a sincere thank you to all, and a special shout out to project team member Lydia Curlis, who has worked so hard on coordinating everyone, creating all the procedures and documentation, and making this event happen. So now I would like to recognize that the initial brainstorming that led to the first Editathon last year happened on Massachusetts land, and that we continue to have participants working from Massachusetts land today on the Editathon and on SNAC records. I respectfully acknowledge that Harvard University, including the Peabody Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology, where I work, is located on the tribal homelands of the Massachusetts people. We pay respect to the people of the Massachusetts tribe, past and present, and honor the land itself, which remains sacred to the Massachusetts people. To that end, it is a privilege to introduce Elizabeth Solomon, an elder of the Massachusetts tribe at Ponkapog.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever it is in the time zone you're in. Thank you so much for having me. I'm joining you from Holliston, Massachusetts, where the homelands of the Massachusetts and the Nipmuc tribes meet, and where the lands and waters confirm the long history of our alliances. So again, I want to thank you for inviting me to provide some words. Thank you, Catherine, for inviting me, and thank you for the work that you and others at the Peabody have done around this issue. And I want to say that it's really, truly wonderful to see that you have all come together to edit the Indigenous records on the platform and to make them more accessible to community researchers. Despite the fact that we've been here for thousands of years, we're incredibly underrepresented on platforms like SNAC, and as a result, our histories are frequently obscured. So this project is one step in terms of trying to change this, and both in terms for researchers in general, and most importantly for me, Indigenous researchers. One of the things that's really interesting is coming from Boston, where there's so much history and so many people that are well known, that really, even looking at the folks who are well known in Boston and the folks who have had really strong relationships or strong historical ties to the Indigenous people, they tend to be very, those ties tend to be very obscure. So for example, I did a search on John Eliot on the SNAC site, who's noted on the site as, quote, the apostle to the Indians, unquote. However, his relationship lists only one Indigenous connection, despite the fact that his place in history is inextricably connected with the Indigenous peoples of Massachusetts and New England. And so this is just one example of the ways that Indigenous histories and connections continue to be obscured, and why this project and ones like it are so important. As one of the members of my tribe who regularly searches for historical and archival information related to our history, I can personally vouch for the difficulties related to locating relevant documents. Most are indexed only in their relationship to the dominant culture, and even when they primarily concern Indigenous issues, an example being what I just spoke about in terms of John Eliot. This requires digging through what seems like mountains of irrelevant materials to find one or two documents that are of significance to us. And it's incredibly gratifying to see attention being given to these resources and helping us to find them in ways, into finding a way to make Indigenous records more visible. While I didn't find much on the platform related to the Massachusetts tribe, I know that relevant resources exist in the holdings of your members. And one area that I think could be extremely helpful would be in the expansion of the relationship at section of the entries to highlight the connections to Indigenous peoples and groups. Again, the example of John Eliot, where he's best known for being, quote, an apostle to the Indians, but his connection to the Indians is pretty much obscured. So I hope that this project can continue on in the future and that the work can be expanded not only to highlight Indigenous records, but also to illuminate the many Indigenous connections that exist with the entries, especially those that may not be so obvious. In closing, I can't emphasize more strongly how important this initiative and ones like it are to multiple tribal communities. They open the research world to those of us who may not have the needed research skills or access to non-public libraries and archives. And again, thank you. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. And I hope it continues for many years to come.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was really wonderful. And I think is useful for this whole closing event because we are thinking about how to move forward. And you are giving us some great directions and even some specific examples for that. Thank you. And I will hand it over to Jerry and Dina, who are just talking about some general SNAC news and updates of interest. Oh, wait, sorry. Am I handing over to Taylor instead?
Yeah.
Never mind. Jerry and Dina coming soon. And for now, we'll be hearing from Taylor.
Oh, Scouts, Wiggle. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we sound good, Taylor.
Okay. I just wanted to do like a closing because at the beginning I did like a short opening, so I just want to do a closing as part of our cultural protocols. So the speech to call, so a short version of Benohio. So way that we close like our events and ceremonies at Six Nations. And then again to go to NG Swatan Seals, Skyfanko Savada, NG 5 Canto, some ideas, some Bava Benohio. Name always up, scan up Benohio. Maybe names way, Sky and Jitwayan, what you go, Scott didn't do that, no, to get you to what you go. Danny Jitwa Troy, some once a day, one over hot and one, but make what to send a hat. Maybe names way, we're going to Jitwa Nohio, need to get you to what you go. Danny Jitwa Troy, let's go one is can die. I Hawana, that's what's up, need those high points for us. Now, some way, go hand or hatch in the young gate. Maybe names way, that's a one of you, let's go one is can die, need to get you to what you go. Dane on and what did what Troy, getting what I gain, had he shot Kiono, made the candle, scan up to nothing. Made the names way, the Jitino, had he shot Kiono, made the candle, need to get you to one go. Dane did what Troy, how gay got he get and agrees and this. It's all to Saturn, scan up, I do not know. Made the names way, that's a bonahano, don't he date and agrees and this, need to get you to one go. Tony got Queenie, Ike, Gag and Tacono. Nathan saw, and just wait for Nate, Nate Aguego, scan up. Tosse Dwayo, sa Young Butts Quadino, and to Ganyo to one go down. So I'll just give you just a brief interpretation because I don't want to take up too much of your time. We just acknowledge everybody had gathered together for the past 2 days and that our minds have become one as we part, our minds will disperse. We just acknowledge all creation and like life is all those things that sustain us in life, the earth, our mother. And we just acknowledge that everything that is in place to take care of us. We give thanks to like our creator and that everybody's maker of our bodies, so everybody's well, and that our minds are feeling well today. And we just close off saying like this is the best that we can do as we disperse, go our separate ways, that we remain peaceful amongst ourselves. So Donnie told us this means like that's all. So nyala sotasio. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Taylor. And now we will hand it off to Jerry and Dina.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the Yamasee and their indigenous kin and neighbors on whose traditional territories I live and work. I acknowledge the devastation of colonial warfare and cultural genocide that separated these nations and all indigenous peoples in North America from control of their homelands. I acknowledge the continued presence and resilience of indigenous communities and nations today, and I thank those with whom I collaborate while working or undertaking my work for the National Archives and Records Administration. A special hello from the SNAC School team and from the National Archives and Records Administration's liaisons to the SNAC Cooperative. Make sure that I have my screen where I can see the proper slides. There we go. I'm Jerry Simmons. I am the lead external liaison to the SNAC Cooperative from the National Archives. My colleague, who I know all of you know dearly now, Dina Herbert, we're the two-person team that represents between the National Archives and the SNAC Cooperative. But Dina and I also, as you all have learned over the past several months, we lead the SNAC School. We've had the pleasure, the absolute pleasure and excitement of hosting so many of you in the SNAC School program over the last several months. And we hope that what you've gained from SNAC School is going to energize you through your work in SNAC as you continue on, not just stopping with today's editathon, but continuing on in your editing work in this very, very important endeavor that we have set out for today. We want to let everyone know that we have SNAC School events coming up in October, later in October. So that's really just next week. How can it already be this late in October? I don't know. The 20th and the 21st, we have plenty of places left for trainees there. There's another event on November 17th and 18th. And to round out 2021, we have our final SNAC School of the calendar year on the 15th and 16th of December. We invite anyone who has already trained to take the training again if you like. We oftentimes have a number of folks auditing, as they like to say, auditing the SNAC School. Just as a refresher, you have, again, because you've all been through SNAC School at least recently, you know that it happens on 2 afternoons in a row. And if there's one afternoon that's more important to you, you're welcome to join for just one of the days or both. The more the merrier. So we encourage you all, if you have something you want to refresh on, to please do participate in that. If you have colleagues, friends, and anyone you know who's working in your institution who you think would be a good person to work in SNAC along with you or independently on their own, please pass the information along. Remember that SNAC School is always free. There's never a charge for SNAC School. And for the foreseeable future, we will be conducting all of our training events virtually, as we have been doing over the past several months, really over the past year and a half. Not much to do not virtually over the last year and a half. So we're looking forward to a vibrant 2022 with more editing. And I'll say for Dina, how proud we are to be involved in this very, very important project. There's a lot to look forward to. If any of you were able to attend the recent annual SNAC meeting on September 29th and 30th, you saw presentations from a number of SNAC cooperative partners. One project in particular, the one you see here listed on the slide, is Light SNAC. Light SNAC has been developed as a way for smaller institutions, those who perhaps don't even have a full-time archivist, librarian, or curator, to more easily input high-level information about entities, either their holding institution or creator entities, persons, corporate bodies, and families into the system in a more straightforward and less sort of technical library-y sort of approach to creating the SNAC records. We learned this morning, Dina and I learned that we will be developing a special SNAC school module just for Light SNAC. So the best thing to do if you're interested in Light SNAC is to keep an eye on the SNAC listserv. And we will, of course, be making announcements about the development of that module and upcoming training dates. I'll speak again about the SNAC annual meeting. During that conference, we had some very interesting presentations from our technical working group partners. First about Open Refine, which some of you may know is an editing tool that's being incorporated as a plugin for the SNAC editing interface, where you can manipulate, edit, and prepare large amounts of data for contribution to the SNAC data set. And for those of you who might use archive space in your home shops for organizing and describing your archives collections, a plugin is being developed for archive space to work hand in hand with SNAC as well. If you're not yet a cooperative member, there's information on the website. You see that link there at the bottom, portal.snaccooperative.org. That's the place where you can learn a number of things about our project. One of them, how to become a member. And if you would like to have a voice in the way that SNAC moves forward in its governance and its editorial policy, please consider becoming a partner and joining one of the working groups in SNAC. There's a working group for communications, a working group for editorial standards and policy, a working group for technical infrastructure, and a new working group that's been developed just within the last 6 months for reference and research. It's going to help out the SNAC school team developing a special standalone SNAC school module just to instruct people on how to use the SNAC system for their reference and research work. So on the right-hand side of the slide, the important information, of course, the emails where you can reach Dina and I anytime during normal business hours. We look forward to hearing from you, hearing your questions. And I know that, that a lot of you over the past 2 days have submitted requests for new subject headings, new occupation headings, new geographic place headings. Please do keep those coming. As SNAC goes through more technical development, hopefully by the end of 2021, we will have a more robust control vocabulary management system in place. And that way we'll be able to process through more of these control vocabulary terms. But for now, send your requests forward. If you have a geographic place, Dina, forgive me, if you have a geographic place that you need to have added to SNAC, please contact Dina. If you have a subject heading, like a topical subject heading, an occupation heading, or a function term, please send those forward to me. So there we go. Again, I can't say thank you enough for allowing Dina and I to be a part of this very, very important project. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to add my thanks as well, because this has been really wonderful to get to know everyone and to see the work that you've done and to be a part of this.
Okay, so can everyone hear me okay? I'm actually in the room with Diana, so it's very exciting.
Yes.
Great. So Diana, Catherine, and I will now be kind of going through what we see as the future work with SNAC and with this project. So I'm going to start it off by talking about formalizing the style guide. Oh, I need to introduce myself for all of you that aren't there. My name is Lydia Curlis. I'm a first-year PhD student studying under Diana Marsh at University of Maryland. Yeah, so I'm the GA helping with all of this. So anyways, back to the slide. Formalizing the style guide. So as you all know and have received, we have put together a style guide that kind of takes a bunch of decolonized approaches, Indigenous style guide, to kind of create basically a guide for how to edit Indigenous records. And we are hoping to have a more formalized draft that can eventually be circulated and used not only for SNAC, but potentially for other archival records. So now I'll pass it over to Kat.
All right. So during the editathon, several of you have noted the limitations for nationalities, languages, and other fields and pick lists available in SNAC. And we definitely know this is an issue, and that workarounds like putting details into the biography note or adding new subject terms are really right now kind of on a case-by-case basis. So we would like to work towards more systematic solutions. And Jerry referenced some of the controlled vocabulary future possibilities in SNAC for that. So basically, we really appreciate any specific examples you have come across of limitations in SNAC fields. Please do let us know about those through the Google form, over email, or in the post-event survey that we'll be sending out, so we can improve SNAC's technical capabilities to express community and cultural concepts and terms.
So I'm going to talk about the community outreach. So obviously one of the big motivators for SNAC is the potential for creating accessibility for Indigenous communities, especially for collections that are widely dispersed. So one of our goals in continuing this work is to really emphasize the role that SNAC can play in facilitating rematriation and repatriation by helping to find relevant records. This is something that as we continue to create access to, we hope we can help tribes really make sure that they're reconnecting with their records. Another thing that we are hoping to do is create an Indigenous SNAC training. So this would be basically SNAC school and other kind of modules and webinars that really focus on solely Indigenous related materials in SNAC. And then the last one is just community-based presentations. We really hope to bring this work to community, and we really want it to be usable by the communities.
And as Catherine mentioned, our sort of first approach to thinking about what you all have been doing over the past couple of days and implementing some of these changes is we'll send out a post-event survey. So please do fill that out. It shouldn't be too onerous. We're also trying to think about creation of some kind of working group or sort of a kind of more regular group meeting of folks who are interested in Indigenous SNAC. So we're hoping to kind of push that forward as we come out of this project. And then we're also looking for resources. So we're right now looking at IMLS, but if folks have other ideas for grants, we're really interested in thinking about grant projects that can help support this work and help create more infrastructure for pulling together all of these next steps that we hope to implement.
All right, so this is some of the nitty-gritty of the editing and reviewing process. So yesterday and today was really the big push for everyone to edit and create SNAC records and to talk together as they do so. But it is totally fine to continue working on your SNAC records past today, especially because we do have these two reviewing stages involved, which can take a bit of time. So I'm just going to go over all of that. And the entities spreadsheet has a column called status, where you can keep track of which of these stages you're in, which is probably going to be helpful for you and is also helpful for us to just get an overview of where we're all at. So the first stage is editing or creating a SNAC record. Then you send it for SNAC review through the SNAC dashboard. And you can tell who your SNAC reviewer is because it is listed in the entities spreadsheet. So that's the person that you send it to through the dashboard. You then implement edits from your SNAC reviewer and you can hit publish. At that point, your record is ready for peer review. So the SNAC reviewer was looking specifically at how your record fits with SNAC best practices for data entry. But we also have this peer reviewer, and this was a recommendation from the Indigenous Advisory Board that there be a second pair of eyes to look from a community and cultural context, specifically at the content of your records. So for that community perspective. And once you publish and your record is ready for peer review, you can email the link to the SNAC record to your peer reviewer. Unfortunately, we do not yet have a peer reviewer for every single entity on the entities spreadsheet. So you will see that if you do have a peer reviewer assigned, their name and contact email will be listed in the entities spreadsheet. So you can email your record link to them, implement any edits that you receive from the peer reviewer, and then you are truly finished and you can hit publish and your record is completed. And we have a note here as well that the SNAC team may tweet out your entity once it is completed, but if you would prefer us not to do that, just let us know and we will not tweet about your record. And I think that is it for this slide.
Okay, so that was like a very nitty-gritty overview. So I'm just going to kind of go over a general overview of pretty much like the last two slides and what you kind of can look forward to next. So obviously we're asking that in the next couple of weeks, this week and next, you finish up any records that you've been working on, then it will go through the review process. We will send out a follow-up survey for feedback. And then looking to the future, our team is hoping to create publications around this event and around this project. So if anybody has ideas or places where they could see this being published or this information being published, we would love to see that. And you can send any recommendations to the team. Finish off this slide. If any of you guys would like to have additional office hours or time to meet with the team to kind of talk through any last minute things, please let us know and we can schedule some time. And if you have any questions about the review process, you can either leave them in the chat now. We'll be here at the end to answer any questions, or feel free to send emails to any of us.
So thanks again to everyone so much for all of this hard work. We've been meeting basically since April, and Lydia came onto this project in July and has been working what feels like nonstop on this since then. And I know Jerry and Dina put so much into the SNAC schools, adding extra SNAC schools for us, and our advisory board has just done so much in terms of meetings and kind of back and forth over email, plus participating in events like this. So we're really just so grateful. And as Catherine said, this idea came really from Irene and Catherine last year. And so I'm really grateful to have been able to collaborate and work on this and see it come to fruition. So thanks everyone so much. That's our Twitter handle if you want to tweet about this event. And we have an event page that you can check out. And we'll also be sending everyone the recording for this and keep everyone posted on updates and look out for that survey.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to Diana and Lydia. I mean, I know we've thanked Lydia many times, but she deserves all the thanks. As do you, Diana. So
We're here. We can't say thank you enough. The amazing energy that Diana and Lydia have put into this has just propelled it so much further. And Catherine and Irene and Dina, who were really the one, I think Dina, after she had met Irene and Catherine probably well over 2 years ago, she said, I talked to two people at a conference and I had a really cool conversation with them. And that's sort of where in my memory that it got started. So I am just applauding all of you. All of you.
All right, and I will stop the recording. Thanks everyone so much, and especially for sticking with us, for those on the East Coast past 5 p.m. And to everyone still working on the West Coast, we're really grateful for your work, and keep going. We're on till 9 p.m. tonight.